The following is a production of Phoenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
You know, out in Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome. It's About Town Deb with City Talk. I thought since I'm in the Babe Cave, biggest little fashion truck, I should just change it up a little bit. And who doesn't want to change it up when you've got three rock star gals here that are all savvy in social media and all that. So I'm just going to co-host. We have Britton Griffith. No, not Britton Griffith. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
I do all the time. I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two of us
I know,
in Reno, so
I know.
it happens.
Britton Murdock, Nunn. I always say, I've done that to her too.
And yeah, I mean, it's a unique name.
No, it's because they're both I love them both. So that's a Debbie talk. Okay. Maybe I'm all confused because we rocked and rolled in here. But we are going to be talking about International Women's Day in sports. And we have three rock style sisters who have all played sports together. They're in the same family. And we're going to share a little bit about how they felt, what it was like growing up as sisters playing sports, talking about going to college, and then becoming amazing women in the community and how that all brought it together and what they're doing now compared to what they did when they were throwing a baseball or hitting a volleyball or doing a little boxing. So I'm really excited to hear their stories. And then we co-host right here. We got Britton here. Make sure she's here. So she will be doing the introductions when we come back for the next one. And then I also want to say hi to Brigitte and McKain. McKain is waving in there. Give us a wave. So it's really going to be fun. I'm just happy to kind of be sitting in a fancy chair.
Yeah.
I went shopping before the show started, but we're going to toast to our wine. Let's do a toast. And I'm going to have Melissa bring over the bottle so we can thank Crystal Basin.
Yay.
And what do we have here? Can we do?
It is iconic.
Iconic, because these women are iconic that I'm with. So we're going to do a cheers to Crystal Basin. We want to say thank you. Cheers. And we also want to thank phoenixmedia.us, Christian, behind the scenes there. You can follow us at phoenixmedia.us, find out more about being a sponsor, or at abouttowndeb.com. We also want to thank Kim Surratt, one of our sponsors, Surratt Law Practice. Kim, make sure you've met, Kim.
Yeah, she's great.
Kim, make sure we do everything legal. It's kind of good to have a legal person on your team.
Never hurts.
We love having Kim. And then we also have Gratis Gives Processing, Kirk Allure. So when I do a purchase or somebody pays a bill or you go online, when you use the Gratis Gives, a portion of your processing fees goes to a local charity.
That's awesome.
So it's the way, and your fees are cheaper. So I want to thank Kurt for that, for joining in and supporting us. So that is our sponsors. Oh, one more thing. Check out the hair. Check out the hair.
Cute.
Can you see that?
Love it.
Can we see it back there?
You can see it.
Caliber Hair and Makeup Salon. We want to thank Jossie for that. And my new top, or might as well go ahead and this is the new style, right? The one shoulder?
It's a cold one shoulder.
I usually like two shoulders cold, but
not anymore. This is 2021 and it's only the one.
I still, I have a rough time because these gals know how to dress me, and I still want to go back in the dark ages.
You do
but
find it.
I try. But anyway, so we want to thank everybody for helping us get to where we are today. So normally we say a little bit about what has happened or what's going to be happening. And since we mentioned Crystal Basin, you want to go wine tasting again? Do you miss it?
That was so fun.
Can I
Oh my
go this
gosh.
time?
You need to go this time. So we actually went, I don't know whether we made it all the way into Carson Road that time. We didn't.
I
But
wish.
next time we will. So Carson Road Wineries, they have a winter wonderland is what they normally call it. And I'm excited because they are going to be doing it again, but it's Winter Wine Pass Adventure. So it started February 1st. 2021. Thank God we're not saying 20 anymore, huh?
I know.
So I'm really excited about it because it lasts all the way to March 31st. So you can go over the hill and you get a pass and you get a complimentary wine flight at the Carson Road Wineries, and you're going to get $5 off your wine purchase per person. So it's a good way to take your time when the weather's nice, head on over there. And Fiddleton Estate Winery is also doing complimentary charcuterie trays with your and 5 flight.
Yeah.
So it's really good. So we have Crystal Basin, D Victoria, Fenton Harriet, Fiddleton, Micah Sellers, Nello Olivo, Red Poet, and Via Romano. So go ahead and go on to Carson Road Wineries, and I will be sharing on my page as well. So that is my pick for the month for wine tasting. Go ahead and head over there. And then you guys have something going on right now. Let's share a little bit about that before we go into break. What you guys are giving back to the community. So tell a little bit about that.
Okay, so we are teaming up with the Eddie House.
And tell them what the Eddie House is.
The Eddie House supports homeless teens, ages 18 to 24 usually is kind of like their demographic. It's people that have like aged out of the foster system. And not only do they give them a place to stay, but they also equip them with skills to get a job or to be successful in life. So it's a really, really just cool, amazing thing that they do for our community. So we were trying to figure out a way to give back to the community because we love to do it. We love Reno. And through women's clothing and what aligns with the Biggest Little Fashion Truck. And so we are collecting gently used clothing from our customers when they come into shop or at our pop-up events. They bring in a bag, they bring in 1 piece, 10 pieces, doesn't matter. They get 15% off with the BLT on their purchase. And then we are going to donate that to the Eddie House. And not only are we going to donate it, we're going to like do a full BLT pop-up and let them shop. We're going to give them free styling advice. We want to give them that experience of finding things that fit their style and their bodies. Yeah.
That's perfect.
It's cool.
So speaking of that, Melissa, my amazing Melissa, she actually brought some clothes. I have some clothes.
Thank you guys.
And some of mine that I brought were actually some of the Biggest Little Fashion Truck clothes. Not that I want to give them away, but I did like lose a little bit of weight. So I thought instead of leaving the clothes that don't fit you in the closet and just keep looking at them, why not donate them?
Right.
And then I shopped. So I have a new top. I donated some tops and a dress.
Right.
Not that we're all wearing a lot of dresses right now. We had
they
that
will.
come, but they will. So, and like when they're, young adults and they're going out for jobs, they may need to wear a dress.
They
so,
want to feel good.
They want to
have that shopping experience that we get, and that's what we're trying to provide for them.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited I was able to do that. And it's time for our first break already. How does that happen?
That went by in a jiff.
It does. Jeff. So it's About Town Deb with City Talk with the Murdock Gals. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would of course prepare. You would talk with your loved ones and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate a buck to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to Gratis Gives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to Gratis Gives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting Gratis Gives at 855-464-7284 or online at gratisgives.com.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. I am so excited to be in my hometown, Reno, Nevada, at the Babe Cave, the biggest little fashion truck. And I'm with lots of babes, but these babes are extraordinary and they are rock stars. They're not only smart and talented, they have, they're athletic, and growing up, they learned a lot about teamwork and about self-confidence, and that's thanks to their amazing mom and dad.
Yes.
And we talked about that, and we're going to share a little bit about that, where it's amazing when parents can look at their children, male or female, and just let them be them and not judge them, not assume they want to do something, just let them be and see how amazing and talented they end up. And these gals have shined bright. So co-host Britton here, I am going to let you, because you're the co-host, she's the expert in sports. I'm the left-hander that wasn't allowed to be left-handed, that was picked last in the season. So I'm going to sit back a little bit, but I'd love each of you to take a turn. Who do we want to start with, McKain?
Yeah.
So
sure.
why don't we start with McKain,
Okay.
and then Brigitte, and then you, and say a little bit about your background and what sports you played and what your passion is.
All right. Hi, guys. As she said, I'm McKain. I grew up playing 3 sports. I played basketball, volleyball, and track at Reno High. And now I'm actually the only girl on the university's boxing team.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
Trailblazing.
And so growing up like in a sports family, it's just taught me a lot, and it's really shaped me into the person that I am today.
Well, you know, you were saying the only girl. How tough is that right now, today, and how do you compete and stay in shape and do that?
It's definitely an uphill battle every single day I go into that gym. Being the first girl that actually walked into that gym was difficult because they didn't know what to do with me. They didn't want me there, and I just kept coming back every single day. And I owe that a lot to like my family, who just said, if this is something that you want to do, go and do it. And so I had a really strong foundational support system behind me to be able to do what I want to do.
Oh,
awesome. Yeah, she's amazing. She is.
Okay, Brigitte, talk about your sports adventures.
My name's Brigitte, and I played a bunch of sports growing up, softball, basketball, and volleyball, but the sport that I chose to go play in college was volleyball.
I like volleyball.
Yeah, it's definitely a really fun sport. Definitely my parents had a big role in that, giving us all the opportunities to be able to practice and get good enough to go play that sport in college.
Great. Yep.
Well, see, but you said you played 3 sports.
Yeah, growing up.
So what age did you play what sports? Because I know with my boys, they started out with soccer, then they went to t-ball, and then baseball.
I definitely played all of them. Started out with soccer as a young kid.
Yeah.
Played t-ball, did it all. Played softball because that was what she played, and so, but that wasn't my sport. And then I played basketball and volleyball in high school. And then it was time to choose which one I wanted to pursue.
She really just was amazing at volleyball, rose to the top got a scholarship, played
Wow.
for Sacramento State
Ooh,
University.
that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, won a conference championship. She played in almost every game in her 4 years. And I'll just brag a little bit about her.
Brag all you want.
She has the ability to persist no matter what. So through hard times, she can just persist. And something about McKain too is she's brave. She's the bravest person. Watching her walk out into the ring, I mean, it was, yeah, I'm going to cry because it's just, you're trailblazing. And my sisters are just so amazing. Both of them.
I mean, I'm like nervous just thinking about you walking out
No, it's
in the
not fun.
ring. It's like, but just the idea of you walking into the gym. And I know that this isn't a sport, but when I had one of my second jobs, I worked at Lockheed and I was in a field, I was a receiving clerk. So I was a girl. Well, I am a girl, still a girl. But when I got hired, they said, you know, you have to lift this much weight. You have to do this. And I'm like, I think I could do that. I could do it. But they didn't think I could. And the men were not happy to see this. I was like 19 to come in a whole man's world in shipping and receiving. And yes, they did help me, thank goodness, because I could not lift as much as I needed to. But I remember I was a little bit nervous walking in every day. And there was only 2 women in the whole area we were in. And they all would like look at us like, you think you can do this? And then I worked my way up. But I was scared. So just to hear you, and I wasn't walking into a ring where I was having to wrestle with guys. I was having to pick up material, which was a little bit different, but
Definitely.
that's pretty cool. So let's hear your story.
Oh man. Okay. Sports seems so long ago now.
She's the one that started it all.
So So how was it
our
being
biggest influence?
the influencer?
I don't think that. I think we all kind of had our parents again. Our dad is huge into sports. Our mom is an extremely athletic and competitive person. So the mixture of them pushing us forward, giving us that opportunity. I played basketball and softball. I chose softball, played at the University of Nevada, go Pack. And yeah, had a good career. I loved it up there. I loved playing for my hometown. I actually chose to play for Nevada over other schools is because my sisters were a lot younger than me and I wanted to stay home and be with them. I was graduating. I couldn't even imagine leaving them. We're just so tight knit and like we have each other's back. And I think sports, honestly,
best decision she ever made.
Yeah.
Side note.
Sports is something that just connects us all. It's the thread that, you know, aside from having the same blood, that keeps us together, keeps us on common ground.
Whew. Okay. Well, we're going to go right into some questions
cool.
because I was trying to find questions that would really hone in on family. Because really you guys, what it's about, even when you're on a team, on any team sport, you become family.
Yeah, that becomes your family.
And you guys started out as family. So when you were little, we'll go with McKain first again. We're going to get you first here. So when you were little, did you ever imagine meeting your favorite sports idol, and who would that be?
So growing up, if I'm being honest, my like biggest sports idol was Britton, because when she did go to college, I was 8 years old. And so I figured to grow up watching her play.
Oh, thanks, Doug. I love that. What about Bridge?
Well, I was like to say the same thing. Growing up, she was definitely a few years older, and I looked up to her. But she also showed us how to be tough and stay on it and work as hard as you possibly can to be the best. Because if you don't have the work ethic, you won't be the best. And I had it right in front of me. So it was pretty easy to see what path I was going for. And she made it pretty easy to have her as our idol. And on top of it,
jeez, guys,
having her as my sports idol, she was the one that believed in me the most, that I was good enough to go play when I didn't believe that I was good enough. And neither did other coaches or anyone else, but she was the one. So she's my idol, but she also believed in me too.
Well, that always good enough. First of all,
Yeah.
She was light years ahead of other people. So.
But you know what? To hear you say that, so if you're listening out there and you're, in high school or you're in college, you just said you didn't feel good enough, yet you had been playing sports and you have got a scholarship. So at what point did you feel like I got this? At what point during that?
When I got my first visit, when they asked me to come visit the school because they wanted me to play, I was like, oh, it's real. And she was like, I've been telling you this. And I'm like, oh. So that's kind of when it clicked, and I was like, I am good enough, but I didn't see it. And she did the whole time.
It's hard not to have imposter syndrome when you're not 6'4" and people aren't crazy. Like, we are extremely athletic. We're not going to be the tallest, the strongest, the fastest. We will work the hardest. We will show up on time. We'll be the best team player. And eventually we have proven to become one of the best players on every team we've been on, with a little belief in ourselves. So yeah,
gosh,
definitely.
I love this.
Yeah, no, she definitely deserved to be at that level times 100. So.
Well, we're going to go with another question. We have like a little under 3 minutes, but we're going to go right back to McKain. So get ready for this one. So did you ever picture yourself, well, you are probably right now, competing in a big event in front of a large crowd of people and just winning that event and rocking it when you were a little bit younger? And if you have, tell us where you're at now with that.
Of course. I mean, it all started when we were younger, and like Britton or my dad would announce us like, now at the free throw line, 2 seconds left, down by 2. Like, you all have these little scenarios in your head. And as I got older, they just got like, it never, like, those big moments like happen, but it doesn't happen just how you kind of played it out in your mind, I guess. I mean, I ended up thinking I was going to hit 2 free throws to win the state championship, and now I'm in a boxing ring. But those like fantasies and those dreams got me to where I am.
Yeah, our family, I mean, sports has been running in our blood forever. But I think that, do you care if I talk about mom and dad? So I pictured, so just another shout out to our parents. I know this might be redundant, but I always pictured myself playing, you know, I actually pictured myself playing men's sports because I wanted to be a boy. I had boy cousins. I wanted to keep up with the boys. I wanted to be the first women's football player at Notre Dame. That didn't check out. But what did check out is my parents allowed me to be on the wrestling team. I ended up being the first female wrestler in the state of Nevada. But just my parents didn't push what they wanted their little girl to be. They ended up letting me be me, and now here I am owning a fashion truck and was an athlete. So thanks, mom and dad, for that.
Well, by the way, I love your mom and dad. So I'm very glad that I am sitting here with these guys. They're amazing. Believe it or not, it's time for a break again. So we want you to stay tuned. If you have any comments, you're watching the replay. If you played sports, we'd love to hear your story. It's About Town Deb with City Talk with the Murdock gals at the Babe Cave. Be right back.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool, and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That'll be $73.11.
Do you have a charity that I can donate up to?
You just did.
But I didn't select any option.
It happened just by using your credit card. We recently changed our payment processing to Gratis Gives, who not only saves our company a ton of money on processing fees, but also donates a portion of every purchase to a participating local nonprofit.
Why doesn't every business do that?
If they switch to Gratis Gives like we did, they can.
Achieve real social change by contacting Gratis Gives at 855-464-7284 or online at gratisgives.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Phoenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us.
You know that's what she said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to this week's episode of City Talk. And I wish the breaks didn't, I wish we just had more time, but I'm really excited to be in Reno. So you guys know. So actually, where is the Babe Cave? So if you're, and you can order online. So tell us a little bit about where we're at before we go into the next question.
Okay, so we are the biggest little fashion truck. We do have a mobile boutique, looks like a food truck, but it's a fashion truck. We have a physical location, 1890 Dickerson Road, right by Strange Bikinis, Sierra Water Gardens. It's a little art district over here, fun little place of Reno. And we do shopping appointments here. So you can just message us on Instagram or shop us online, easy way. So
yeah, and especially now, shopping online is so easy. And you've got photos of all the items. Yeah. They'll ship it right to you. That is the way to go.
I'm lucky pick it up. That you don't have to pay for shipping. You can pick it up here from the Babe Cave.
I like that too, and I love it. So we're going to go back to some questions here. I'm just going to throw one out, and we'll see who wants to answer it. Okay. But I think we already know. This one is a little bit more, I don't know whether it's edgy, but just a little bit more, not controversial. But so what radical things do you think must change in order for women's sports to be taken as seriously as men?
I would say that I think that it starts with men. They need to be talking about it, posting it more, and that goes to the big platforms. I'm talking ESPN, Fox News Sports, all of them. They are the ones that choose to only post about men's sports, promoting that, the big games, and just like for example, NBA will be having just a regular season men's game, and they'll choose to play that instead of a women's finals game or something. And so I think it starts with the platforms that we are seeing, that they need to promote it more commercials for women's sports, letting people know, just, putting the information out there about women's sports, because it's all men's.
I couldn't
starts
agree.
With the platforms.
I couldn't agree more with you on that. The journalism, if you go to ESPN, the top 10 headlines are going to be for men. If they did a better job with the storytelling and the backstories about women's sports, I think that people would be hooked on it more. I must say, though, we have come a really long way. Just the fact that all three of us had this opportunity. Yeah. It's the women who came before us that blazed the trail, and now people like McKain who are blazing the trail. So we have come a long way. We need to, for sure, pay our respects to the women that came before us and fought for us so that we could get full ride scholarships to a D1 school. Mm-hmm. That is huge. But yeah, if they change the journalism, I think that it would really snowball from there.
You know what, McKain, I'm going to go to you on this one, because since you are right now in the game,
she's in it.
You're in it right now. So what could they do differently to make you feel like I'm in it, I'm rocking it? And so other women that say, I want to box, or I want to play basketball, how could they help all these other women feel more confident and know that they're doing the right thing?
I think it starts with the community that they're welcoming you into. Like, the atmosphere that I was welcomed into wasn't very welcoming. It was more so my coaches were so old school, and that's not necessarily their fault, but they were just like, we don't know how to train a girl. We don't know why you're here. Why do you want to be here? Kind of thing. But like my teammates themselves were very welcoming, and they were like, all right, like if you're going to be here, you're going to do the same things we're going to do. And I was like, okay, I can do the same things you guys are going to do. That's not a problem. I can keep up. But I think it also starts with like the big name athletes. Like Kobe Bryant, before he had passed away, was a very big advocate for women's basketball. And since his passing, no one's really stepped up to the plate to make that, like, to be a voice for the women athletes.
Right. I think that goes back to the girl dad thing, right? Once he had his daughters, he was like, it's time to go. I think daughters change dads and show them. And that's why dads are so intense at girls' sports. But McKain, you also you did choose, but you picked a route that is really hard. Boxing is a historically male sport, dominated sport. Volleyball, on the other hand, Brigitte had a little bit easier road. So we are growing, but there's two ends of the spectrum, and it's just gaining that equality in the gym for you.
But I would think it would even be hard for you to be in the gym.
Yeah.
And being the only woman in the gym.
That's what I'm saying. She's brave.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe the guys don't want her there because she is.
Yeah, there were days I would come home just like crying to my dad and my mom, being like, they don't want me here, but I want to do this.
But you've earned their respect now.
Yeah. After my
I got it now.
Yeah. No, she's totally proven herself time and time again, and that says a lot about you, McKain.
And now she's the president of the
boxing
association.
Not only the only girl, she's the president.
The guys need her.
Yeah.
They want her to run the show.
It's that time again. Oh my gosh, it's that time again.
Wow, that happened so quick.
I don't know how that happened. So, oh my gosh. I think we're still good until we go back. I may have saw that wrong. That's a good thing. So now we're going to go to, I know like when kids are playing sports in Little League, but now I don't want to keep saying Little League because that was my experience with my guys. And then in high school, if you have a really bad game, like you're feeling like, or you rock your game or you rock your match and you like walk off that field, you think, oh my God, that was amazing. But I know the times when you don't feel you're your best, how does that make you feel? Like, what's the emotions and how do you get through that, good or bad? Who wants to take that one?
You can go. Okay. So yeah, this is something that is learned. So I think that as a child and you're going through sports, you're feeling these highs and these lows for the first time. And it's really exposing because, you've hit your first home run, nothing feels better, but then you strike out with the bases loaded and that hurts really bad too. And so it's hard not to cry because it's two extremes. As a good athlete and as you grow, you need to learn, and something that my coaches taught me, my dad taught me, my mom taught me, is to, stay in between. Don't hit the highs and don't feel the lows. We call them peaks and valleys. You got to stay in the middle. You got to stay consistent. You don't get too high, you don't get too low, because the second that you're on a high, you have to know by experience that a low is right around the corner.
Right.
And that's just the nature of sport.
Yes.
So staying somewhere in the middle allows you to, get back out there and give it a fair chance. If you're high and then you strike out, it's just too many emotions in one game. I think that has carried over into business.
That's where I was going to go next.
100%. Yes. We've learned that, running a small business is no joke, especially during a pandemic, and being able to, stay consistent through the highs and lows. It's like, okay, we felt this before. I've felt this kind of pressure. I've felt the highs, I've felt the lows, and you got to stay in the middle. And sports has 100% taught us that.
Totally agree. And just like going off of that, future in sports, like your performance, like now in real life, it has carried over that, like after you have a bad game, your performance like defines you. And learning that and going into real life, that performance in anything, sports or whatever everyday life, that it does not define who the person you are.
Yes.
And learning that has just it's gone a long way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so McKain, again, you're in it right now. So if you're out there and you have a match where, you're not feeling as your best and you're with all the men around you, how does that affect you differently being a woman?
It is very difficult because men are really like taught at a young age, like you're not supposed to show emotion.
That's what I was going for. Yeah.
And as a female, like it's like we show emotion a lot easier. I think like as an athlete, we were always taught to keep your poker face on, and like, you're not supposed to necessarily show emotion. And my dad has told me once before, like, we cry on the inside like winners kind of thing. And so like, there have been times where I'm very emotional in the gym and I'm like, God, I'm just like, I'm not getting it today. I'm really tired today. I don't know. But I just like, if you're not there to put in the work and you're not there to be your best self and to progress every single day, then why do you go, kind of thing. And so even when you're having like a very bad day and you are feeling very vulnerable, and again, being the only girl, like, I just suck it up and I'm there, and it's going to be over. It's an hour of my life, and I come out and I'm a stronger person the second I walk out of the gym.
It's some tough skin for you.
Yeah.
You get better despite the environment around you.
Yeah.
You're blooming where you're planted, if you will.
You guys are wise beyond their years, I tell you. It's because I think it boils down to it, your family. Really, I honestly believe that who you're around and family's not always blood. It's who you're around with your friends, with your neighbors, in your community. If you are around women and men who build you up, no matter what your highs and lows are going to be, you have somebody right there to kind of keep you balanced. And I feel like you guys have had highs and lows, but at the end of the day, you're there together.
We're very blessed.
You're very blessed.
And that shows the importance of other parents for their kids getting into sports.
Yeah. And that's really
and the influence they have.
That makes a difference.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. So it's almost that time for the break again, but before we go to break, I always like to give a shout out to Grandma B and tell her thank you for always, and Aunt Glenda and all my family and friends for,
I love that.
I know it's like if I was Carol Burnett, I would do this. I just say it because that's who I am. And I also want to give a shout out to Dee James, DeeDeeJames.com. The little jingle that we have, he actually has a complete song. So at some point we will get that done. But for right now, we're using the jingle. So I want to thank him.
That jingle.
It's fun.
It's amazing.
But I can't wait to hear the whole song because the whole song really talks a little bit about the Hot August nights and about Reno and community. So it's time for our final break. I think it's that time. I don't want it to be that time. Wow. So do we get to keep you a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure. Yes, we get to keep you. So it is About Town Deb with the Murdock Gals. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, and we'll see her on the backside.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Phoenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk with About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, and I'm here with the Murdock gals. I got to tell you, I almost forgot something really important. Happy birthday to Josh, my son. He just turned 32 today. And I also want to give a little thank you to his birth mom. I might as well do that. So Regina, if you're listening, thank you for the most amazing gift. And Josh, I'm honored and blessed to have you as my son. And can't wait to see you tonight for dinner. So happy birthday, Josh. 32. I don't know where the time goes by.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. Jazzy Georgia is manning the Facebook, and so is Melissa. And Jazzy Georgia always says age is just a number. I'm finally learning to believe that. But you know, we all worry about age, but we also worry about how we feel about our bodies. So how do you feel confident? And because you gals have all played sports, you're girls, you're sisters, you hold each other up, you're there for each other, and your career paths are now helping other women feel confident. So tell us a little bit about how you help women and how you guys feel about the whole body confidence.
Okay, so playing softball and really any sport, athletes and women in general across the board, they come in all different shapes and sizes, but especially college athletes, because we're lifting, we're tall, you know, the goal is to be strong and muscular. And I kind of found a niche when I was helping my teammates dress, and you did the same thing because volleyball players historically tall. So we would help them, like before we go out, we would like get them all dressed, both of us. And it was like this thing that we didn't even know that we were good at. Like we was just like, oh, let me help you, like cinch your waist here, or like cuff your thing, make your legs look longer, cuff the bottom of your jeans.
I have a shirt that will go well with
come here, let me help you. Come back here, like our girls would show up at our house, like come back here, let me help you out. So that's how we kind of learned that we have a knack for this. We also knew that our grandparents owned stores, so we have retail in our blood and all of that. But it is such a huge thing. Feeling confident in your body is a big thing, and clothing is just one of the avenues to feeling confident in your body. But that's kind of how we got started, is we wanted to, you know, take that skill and that knack and take it to the next level. But what were you going to say?
Just to go, like, while I was playing a sport in college, like your body obviously changes. Just when you're growing up, you're growing from a young girl into a woman. And I started lifting in college. They want you to get a lot stronger. My coach was like, you need to get stronger and gain muscle. And for me, I mean, that's a little bit harder you don't want to gain weight or muscle. But then I was talking to my sister, and she goes, all right, you have 4 years out of your whole entire life to do what they want you to do and get as strong as you possibly can to make you the best at what you're there to do. And so I'm like, and then she goes, and then when it's done, you can choose and do whatever lifestyle you want your body type to look like. But for right now, you're there, give it the best you got to be the best at the sport you play. And so as soon as I got that out and I gained so much muscle and watched myself like be able to perform better in the sport because of that, and I let go of the body issues, I was way happier, and it led me to be a better player.
And to also now understand the customers who are coming in when they're feeling like maybe clothes isn't fitting right, or they're at a low, what they consider a low point. Just some advice just across the board is as women, our bodies change. I mean, no matter what, it's inevitable. We're going to have times that we feel great. We're going to have times we feel rock solid. We're going to have times that we feel really low, especially with pregnancy and breastfeeding and all the different things that time of the month. Like, women have so many variables that go into how we feel about ourselves. We need to be easy on ourselves. We need to understand that our bodies are amazing things. They're doing amazing things. They're our vehicle to get us through our day. And I mean, we love to dress up that vehicle and make ourselves feel the best that we possibly can at that moment. But if you're having a down moment, shelf it. Try to figure out how you can maybe get it back. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself some leeway and find some cute clothes to throw on it. Guaranteed you will feel better and more confident in it.
Yes. Well, I totally agree with everything she said. I am one of those who have come in here over the last few years, and if I'm on my plus 10 extra weight or plus 20 extra weight, I come in and I shop and I am depressed.
It happens.
And I'm just being real.
Yeah.
And they're like, they talk you up and they help you find clothes to make you feel better. But then if I come in and I put on something that they say, try this, and you just glow and you smile. And the other good thing about when you shop with these gals, I've come in and put something on and I'm like, yeah, she goes, let's take it off. You do not even like that. I'm like, really? She goes, no, it doesn't make you shine. It doesn't make you happy. And I love the idea when you come in to get styled, you're going to get styled the way you need, how to make you happy, not to make them happy.
Well,
I mean,
we're going to be honest with
you
you
are,
too.
and
We
you are,
never
and
want
that's-
someone to walk out feeling like, was that okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's
So-
either got to be 100 or no sale.
Yeah, and I truly am blessed with that because I have had my ups and downs, and I still have our
We
ups
all
and downs.
have. And we've been there.
But it's
so we are
okay.
empathetic towards it because
Right.
we have all, McKain included, have been there. Highs, lows.
Yeah.
We know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But we want you guys out there listening to know that you're beautiful the way you are. It's
Yes.
really what this is about. And no matter what your body shape is, no matter what you're feeling the inside out, you're going to make it through it. And you just need to surround yourself with amazing family and friends to help you when you are having those downs.
Yes.
And I love the idea about the highs and the lows, no matter what business career you're in, that is going to happen.
Right.
And with this whole last year, we've all had times where we just didn't feel our best and we're wearing PJs all day. And it was tough, but I think this year it's time.
It is.
2021, it's time to
invest in yourself.
invest in yourself, and not just with clothes. If you need to talk to somebody,
Yes.
talk to somebody. If you need to take that extra walk, go take the walk. If whatever you need to do, it's really important to do that self-care.
The holistic
The
person
holistic
that you
person.
look at. Clothing
Yeah.
is one of the many things that goes into that.
Yeah.
But it's the holistic person, self-care, mental,
Yeah.
physical, emotional.
So I'm not sure quite on the time, but I'm going to ask each of you, we're going to start with McKain. Just if you could tell a young woman one thing, if she's thinking about competing in sports, what would your top thing be for that?
I mean, from a young age, I've always just I fly my own flag, and everybody will say it. Like, I kind of just do my own thing, and I make my mind about something, and I go do it. When I put my mind to something, I'm unstoppable. And I just want a lot of younger girls to know that, if you make up your mind to choose to do something, no one can stop you.
Block out the haters. You're good at that.
I love it.
Yep.
Okay, Bridge, what would be your one thing if you had to pick one thing?
I would have to say, if you are thinking that you're not good enough, and if you are actually not good enough, the girl who works the hardest and puts in the work will end up on top, will always succeed. The one who works the hardest. It's who's willing to put in the work, who's going to make it.
So true. Our dad always told us, dreams don't work unless you do. So
that's a good
one
one.
thing that has stuck with me is
What?
if you ain't first, you're last.
Oh, that's a good one. I was going to ask about a quote, but you already beat me to
Yeah,
it. I am so glad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
So if I could give some advice to someone who wants to play sports, a young girl, I think there's just two things I would say. The first one is don't let someone label you. And if they do label you, don't let that be you. If someone says that you're not sporty, you don't have to take that. Try a different sport or try something else. Just because someone labels you, that doesn't mean that it's the truth. And the second thing is don't stop playing because you get distracted with other things. In high school, in you want to hang out with your friends, you want to do all these things, but I promise you will never regret playing a sport in college. Work hard, persist through the hard times, and don't quit when it gets hard. If someone labels you wrong, or if there's other distractions, not worth it.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
I mean, we all felt that, right? Guys were like, oh, but we want to go to homecoming. Nope, you got to miss it. You got to be in bed. You have a game tomorrow.
Practice.
Do you remember homecoming? I don't know. I had enough memories in high school. I had a great time, but I definitely feel like playing in college taught me way more and equipped me for the real world.
And not to say not playing a sport is bad, but the difference of the experiences of that I had playing a sport to someone who didn't it's just different. I had a better experience going through college. It's what I wanted.
Something that they're thinking of doing. Definitely go for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So before we have just a few more minutes, I want to thank each of you for sharing your hearts and your stories with us. And I know that we're going to be watching McKain.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how far you go and where you go and what you're going to be doing, because we're going to be cheering you on. And I'd love to have front row seats at one of these matches.
It's a little scary.
I can do it.
And the bad thing is now that we have the competitive spirit, we feel like we're in the ring.
And you're like,
so where's the psychos on the sideline?
I would be a psycho
crazy
right there.
family on the sideline.
I would be the crazy
But
on the side.
thank you for having us
well,
and giving us this
welcome.
opportunity. You know, we never really have talked about this, but you just kind of like put this in stone for us. Like, I've never known that about them, and they've never known that about me. So thank you for letting us communicate it out loud. You gave us this platform.
Well, you will always have a platform. How do we reach the fashion truck for those of us who want to continue shopping before we go out?
BLFT Reno on Instagram and Facebook. And we have lots of cool pop-up events coming up. Thursday, we're going to be at Mexcal from 4 to 7 for a Galentine's Sip and Shop.
Okay.
And there's a really delicious margarita that will be on sale.
I might be able to do that one. Off. And I have other stuff that I needed to announce, but this was way too much. That was too important. So we want you to stay tuned.
Sorry, Deb.
No, that is okay. You can follow me on Facebook. But next week, we are going to be talking about heart health in women. So we're kind of sticking with the women's theme for Valentine's Day. And Dr. Madeline Hardacre will be joining me, and I'm excited about that. So we're going to talk about women in heart health and just how to stay fit and do that kind of stuff. So with all that said, thank you, girls. Thank you, everybody. It's About Town Deb with City Talk. I'll see you next week. And follow me on Facebook.
Follow her. It's worth it.